Hello and welcome back to Random Vids. So, obviously, as we all know, for a week now we've had our brand new Mario Kart game, Mario Kart World. Boy, is it a blast, that's for sure. And it is overall a really great Mario Kart game. It was, for the most part, definitely worth the wait. Worth the 11-year wait since Mario Kart 8. So, for today, I decided we should rank all of the tracks that are in Mario Kart World. So every 32 tracks. Yes, I'm including the Crown City and Peach Stadium sequels, since both of those have two different sections that you drive on, which is definitely very weird, but whatever. It's one of the tracks in the cups. I'll include it. Why not? Plus, you're driving in a different section, so it's different. Now big question before we start. Is this game better than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? Obviously, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, one of my absolute favorite video games of all time. I think it's so great. I know certain people, not naming any names, Gabriel, don't really like the game as much just because of the fact it's been around for so long. Yeah, I guess the Wii U version has been around for so long. Switch version has only been 7 years? 8 years, I guess, of this year, but I could understand why people would get tired of that game. But at the same time, it was a very monumental type of game. The gameplay of Mario Kart Deluxe worked really well, and the booster course really helped. So, I don't know if Mario Kart World is better than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe yet. I would have to play more of Mario Kart World. But even if Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is still my number one game, Mario Kart World is definitely a close second. Maybe if they add some DLC to Mario Kart World, then I think it could. Then it would be a little easier to decide, because Mario Kart World definitely has lots of negatives about it. Battle tracks, characters, and even some of the track selections in a way. Some of the retro tracks that I noticed were a lot of repeats, ones that have been in Mario Kart games before. And worse are some of them that were in Mario Kart 8. And no, I'm not talking about Nitro tracks in Mario Kart 8. I'm talking about retro tracks in Mario Kart 8, which was very bizarre and very, weird for Nintendo. It just basically wasted a retro track spot. You know how Mario Kart 8 wasted character spots back in the day? Well, this game basically wastes retro track spots. Alright, anyway, with that, hope you guys enjoyed this ranking, and let's get to number 32, my absolute least favorite track of Mario Kart World, and that track is easily, without a doubt, 100% Shoko Stadium from the Nintendo 64, Nintendo DS, and of course, the Booster Course Pass. I'm sorry, I'm just not calling this track Shoko Mountain anymore. And besides, who the heck wanted this thing back? It's Shoko Mountain. It just came back in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Why are we seeing it again? And honestly, it's not the most fun track to race on to begin with. Heck, when I ranked the booster course tracks in Wave 1, my absolute least favorite track from Wave 1 was Shoko Mountain. And that was me being nice to it. I was like, you know what, it's kind of fun seeing this one back again. And it's fun seeing, all the little tweaks and stuff that they added to it. But the thing is, it still looked and felt like Shoko Mountain, with a few little tweaks here and there. Now, I'm all for Mario Kart completely changing the tracks and all, but man, oh man, what did they do to Shoko Mountain? It doesn't even look like a mountain anymore, and this track I feel like suffered the most when it came to Mario Kart World's design, because everything is now open world, which that's cool and all, but Shoko Mountain is one of those tracks that it doesn't feel like it works perfectly without it being an open world theme. So when you throw in the open world to Shoko Mountain, it just feels very meh. And man, the track design. What do I begin? This doesn't even feel like Shoko Mountain anymore. It feels like a brand new track. There is so many parts of this track that are so different that I completely forget that this is Shoko Mountain. Like I said, at least the Booster Course version stays very faithful to the original. This version, it just feels like it's a brand new Nitro track. Even if it was a Nitro track, this would probably be the worst Nitro track. It's a very flat Nitro track. And the fact that, it's not even mountain anymore. They just made it look more like a stadium themed track. It's in the same area as Wario Stadium. And wow, they completely butchered this track. It was a track that wasn't really one of my favorites to begin with, But now seeing the way that it looks now, it's just you wouldn't be able to tell that this is Shoko Mountain. Just a few tiny little sections, like the very, very end of the track, I feel like is the only part of Shoko Mountain that I'm actually like, oh yeah, that's Shoko Mountain. That's Shoko Mountain. But the rest of this track, I can't even tell that it looks like Shoko Mountain anymore. This has got to be one of the most disappointed I ever was to see a retro track. Not even any of the tracks in the booster course I was this disappointed about. Because it was fun seeing those back. But Shoko Mountain, again? This just came back in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Nintendo, why are we bringing back tracks from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe that were retro tracks? Did you just not like how they looked in that game? What's the point? It just came back. Why not? If you badly want to do another N64 track, because you've added them all again, why don't you do something like Banshee Boardwalk, huh? It'd be nice to see another Ghost theme track. We don't need another stadium track. And I know Shoko Mountain isn't supposed to be stadium, but for this game they purposely made it look like stadium, just so they had another stadium track, I guess. Why not bring back Banshee Boardwalk, like I said, or heck, maybe even DK's Jungle Parkway, or some of those other ones that were older that didn't come back in Mario Kart 8 and actually needed the redesign. But Shoko Mountain did not need the redesign. It honestly just looks very ugly now. Like, it just feels like your typical stadium track. It just feels like another Wario Stadium, but just flat and way, 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 way worse and lazy. Man, I was not happy to see this track back at all. I could rant about this track all day long. Like, it's horrible. I can't believe that they brung this one back again. I was not excited to see it at all. The remix that they did in the booster course made the track perfect enough. I don't think you can get it any better than that. And this proves it, because this track is very ugly now, and I don't like it at all. It's easily, in my opinion, the absolute worst track of Mario Kart World. It just wasted what could have been a good retro track. Like, why not Vanilla Lake, or, some of those other ones, Yoshi Desert. Or if you want to do a Mario Kart 8 track, do a Nitro track. Don't be doing these stupid retro ones. As you can see, this is going to be one of those tracks that you're going to hear me rant about anytime I get the chance to. So, Shoko Stadium, easily 100% the worst track in Mario Kart World, and nothing even comes close. Even number 31, like, that one is miles better than this one. But I can't believe what they did with this. This is horrible. This is just like, I don't know. I have no words for it. It's garbage. Moving on. Number 31, Koopa Troopa Beach, aka Koopa Beach 2. So at first, I was honestly really excited to see this track, because I thought, wow, they're finally going to remake Koopa Beach 1 from the SNES. That's cool and all, until we got the track and just realized it was Koopa Beach 2 over again. I don't care if you want to change the name to Koopa Troopa Beach, this is literally Koopa Beach 2. I don't know why Nintendo decided to do Koopa Beach 2 over, Koopa Beach 1. They wanted to do Koopa Beach 1, that's the one that never came back. Oh, but you can still find it in the game. You just can't play on it in, the main Mario Kart. You can find it, though, in free roam, and you can even do a mission to drive around on it. Okay, cool. But why did they redo Koopa Beach 2? This one came back in Mario Kart DS. You see, Nintendo is doing everything so backwards. Like, if you wanted to bring back tracks that have come back before, that's what the Booster Course Pass was supposed to be for. Not brand new tracks. Like, they could have added all those brand new tracks, like Moonview Highway and Mario Circuit from the DS. Put all those in this game. Like, everything just seems so backwards, and I don't like it, honestly. I don't think, especially since, this ain't even DLC. This is just the base game. Like, why is most of the tracks that came back were tracks that already come back? That really pissed me off when I saw that in the trailers, of where we're just getting tracks that we've seen before. And yeah, I will admit most of them are at least better, but it just really pissed me off, because I'm like, wow, this is the way Nintendo's going now. And the problem isn't the fact that, and that's not me saying, oh, I hate the track or anything, because the tracks are cool. But I think my main thing is just because the fact that Nintendo takes so long to make Mario Kart games nowadays. Look at how long it was between Mario Kart 8 and Mario Kart World. That was 11 years, so which means we'll probably get another 11 years until we get the next Mario Kart game. Which I personally don't mind in a way, because the fact that, the Mario Kart games they're making nowadays are really, really good. Like 8 Deluxe and World. Like, you can tell the Mario Kart series really has taken off. But at the same time, make sure the game is worth the 11 years too. Like, I don't even want to start talking about battle mode because I could rant about that all day. But add good retro tracks. Like, don't just do Koopa Beach 2 again. Now, I will admit, at least this track looks really, really good. And it looks way... At least it isn't like Shoko Mountain where it's completely butchered. Like, at least this feels... At least this is more fun than the DS version. And at least it stands out a little more. And the theming is kind of cool. But at the same time, it's just Koopa Beach 2 again. Like, if this was Koopa Beach 1, this would be a little higher in the placements. But because it's just Koopa Beach 2, again, this is easily, once again, one of the worst tracks in this collection. Plus, you're just driving in a circle. We all know the complaints about Koopa Beach 2. It's been going on for years and years, ever since it came out on the SNES. Nintendo. You had your chance to do Koopa Beach 1, but you instead did this one again. Not even surprised by you, Nintendo, anymore. Well, let's just hope when the DLC comes out, we actually get some better retro tracks, because, not gonna lie, I was definitely a little disappointed with a lot of the track selections that we got for retro tracks. This is better than Shoko Stadium, though, that's for sure, but that's about it, I have to say. Number 30, Mario Bros. Circuit. So here we have the very first track that we drive on. Now, this track is not half bad. I mean, it's your basic, starting course, and that's how, every Mario Kart game should be. Like, they should have one of these starter courses. And I'm really glad that we do have this starter course. It's kind of fun, not gonna lie. It gives me Mario Circuit vibes from Mario Kart 8. I don't know which one's better, though. Now, it's kind of neat how this Mario Circuit kind of takes place in the desert, opposed to just the normal grassy area. Now, for a track, it's kind of boring. You're just driving on, most of it being kind of flat. This is the first course that shows you that there's no more anti-gravity, but at least it shows off the rail riding, and I guess sort of the wall riding in a way. Although I personally don't like the wall riding. I think it's very awkward. The rail riding is cool though, and overall it's a great first course to kind of introduce you to the game. So it's nothing too crazy. It's just your typical Mario circuit, but for a starting course, it works. Number 29, Fairway Oasis. Ooh, the Shell Cup has not been nice to us so far. I'm preferring Mario Kart 8's Shell Cup, honestly. And even looking at the other tracks we have in the Shell Cup, yeah, I prefer Mario Kart 8's Shell Cup, honestly. Fairway Oasis isn't a track that's too terrible. It honestly kind of gives me Mario Circuit vibes in a way. But this track is meant to be like the animal themed track in a way. And animals, I'm not really seeing a whole bunch of animals. Obviously, there's a few here and there. But I thought, like, animals running on the road. Like, when I saw the trailer, it was just the connecting course. But I was thinking, oh, wow, the animals are going to be running on the road and stuff. And what we got is kind of like that. It's mainly just a lot of animals cheering you on instead. So, okay. It kind of makes the track feel a little bare bones in a way. Nothing too terrible. Like, I do think the track layout is at least fun. And I love all the water sections of this track. But I thought this would be more of an animal-themed track, like what we're shown, and even the icon of this track, too. But, you know what? It's a fine enough track. It's just nothing too crazy, and it's kind of false marketing, too. Just kidding. It's a decent track. It's just nothing too crazy. I just wish maybe they put a little more oomph into the track. Add more animals or something. I don't know, because overall, it's just a fine track. Number 28, Dandelion Depths. So here we have another Fairway Oasis, unfortunately. Although, I think this one is designed a little better, because you're not just in the desert or water, you're actually going in a few cooler locations. Like, you go into this underground cave section, like, midway to the end of the track, and I think the layout of the track is a little better. Plus, at least it isn't false advertising, like Fairway Oasis is. Plus it isn't just your stereotypic desert track. I feel like there's a lot of desert tracks in this Mario Kart. Even your first track is a desert track. So it's nice seeing something a little more foresty-like. The forest tracks are usually a little better than desert anyway. Well, okay, desert can be fun, but not all of them. But this track is cool and all. It's just nothing too crazy once again. It's just another, almost kind of like starter track in a way. I think this could have worked well in the Mushroom Cup. But you know what? It's a fine enough track overall. It's just nothing too crazy. It's kind of empty. I wish they added more to it, but it's fine. Number 27, Whistletop Summit. So here we have yet again another track that just feels really bare bones and boring. Now, at least this track does have the train, which makes it really cool and all, but half the time you don't even see the train. So you're basically just riding along the train tracks, which can be cool and all, but I don't know. I'm just not really the biggest fan of this track. I feel like it's a little too short, and once again, a little bit too bare bones compared to the other tracks. For a track on its own, it's fine. Like, I think it is cool and all. The theme is cool. The train, the music is cool. I do like the music. But for a track, it's just fine, once again. Um, at least, like, the theme is kind of cool. But other than that, it's just fine. I honestly prefer, if there's going to be another train track, I think, whatever that track is called, from the N64, Calamari Desert is a little better, honestly. Number 26, Moo Moo Meadows. Oh, and here's another Mario Kart 8 track. Just kidding. Not Mario Kart 8. Mario Kart Wii track that came back. Moo Moo Meadows. Again. Okay. At least this is a track that I really liked from Mario Kart Wii and Mario Kart 8. Because Moo Moo Meadows I thought was an extremely underrated track. And it sort of is, honestly. The layout is kind of cool. It works well as a good farm track. And it's much better than Moo Moo Farm, too. Like, I don't like Moo Moo Farm. But it came back in Mario Kart 8, and I think the remake of Mario Kart 8 did a really great job. But it didn't need to really come back again? I don't know about that. At least they didn't butcher the track like they did for Shoko Mountain. And at least this track has been out for 11 years now, not like 3 years like Shoko Mountain. So I guess it makes more sense in a way, but I don't know. Personally, I think the track feels very, I don't know, very large now in a way. I don't know what the right word is. It just feels way too different, way too open, and oh, here we have another problem with this type of game. A lot of the tracks feel way too large, way too like open worldy. I know everything's connecting because of the world map and the whatever, but at the same time, it kind of butchers some tracks in a way. Like this one, for example. Honestly, I think the 8 version's a little better because it actually feels, I don't know, it just feels more homey. It feels more like, I don't know. It's hard to describe. And I don't get what is going on with those little white lines that are on the dirt path too. They stick out like a sore thumb and they're kind of ugly, not gonna lie. Now I know they added this track just because the cow is now a playable character. And I really did want to hold off on this track as much as possible because I do like Moo Moo Farm and heck, Moo Moo Meadows, and I do like this version. I think it's fun. I just don't think it needed to return again. And personally, I think it's not quite as good as the Mario Kart 8 version. Okay, it's better than the Wii version just because, you know, it looks nicer, but I think Mario Kart 8 Deluxe remade this track well enough. I don't think it really necessarily needed to return again. But here it is. It's a good track and all. I'm fine with it. Like I'm not gonna tear it apart like Shoko Stadium, but at the same time, it's not what I was predicting, especially for a Wii track. But here it is. It's fine. Number 25, Desert Hills. So, Desert Hills originated in Mario Kart DS, and they decided to bring it back in Mario Kart Wii. And look at that, they bring it back in Mario Kart World, and once again, a track that I was not expecting at all. I did not think they would bring this track back, especially since it wasn't necessarily people's favorites. Now, the remix is interesting. It doesn't feel at all like the original or Wii version, and I don't really know if that's a good or bad thing yet. Unlike Moo Moo Meadows, where I could tell you the 8 version was better, this one at least, I feel like is one of those tracks that maybe wasn't quite as loved as Moo Moo Meadows, so seeing it remade that it looks completely different, in a way, isn't necessarily a bad thing. Or Shoko Stadium. Don't even get me started with that. Because Shoko Stadium, they remade way too much that the point that they butchered it, and it looks nothing like the original. At least this, like, I don't even have to look at the mini-map, but I can kind of tell, I can tell by the layout, the way the things are laid out in this game, that, you know, it's kind of the same. Like, you can tell this is the part where all those hills used to be and stuff. I just don't know which version is better, though, the original or this one. This one is really cool, and I do like the remixed music a lot, but I don't know. That's just a big question mark, because I don't know which version is better. I guess it is kind of nice seeing Desert Hills even if it is for the third time now, but you know, you get what you get, so whatever. This is what we're getting for this Mario Kart. It's a fine track and all. It's just, once again, a retro track I did not think was going to come back at all. Number 24, Mario Circuit from the SNES. So, I predicted Mario Circuit 4 because it was the only one that never returned, and Nintendo just looked at that and laughed at me, saying, "What? You want Mario Circuit 4? Well, why don't we just bring back Mario Circuits 1, 2, and 3 instead, and not even... let's just completely forget Mario Circuit 4 was even a thing, yeah?" Okay, that's one way to take my advice to bring back Mario Circuit 4. Instead, bring back literally every other Mario Circuit. Okay. Now, this track is honestly kind of fun in a way. Because of the fact that it's not just one Mario Circuit, like, it's three Mario Circuits rolled into one, making it one big giant track. So you're not just driving on the same Mario Circuit over and over again. So if this would be included, so if I would rank all the Mario Circuits from the original Mario Kart and their returnees, this would definitely be my favorite out of those ones. Just because of the fact you're not driving on the same track over and over again. Plus the fact that making this a stadium-themed track works way, way better than Choco Mountain. Because this is a track that really didn't really have much of an identity in the original game anyway. So the fact that they actually brought it some identity makes it really cool. Heck, this... yeah, we get to see Mario Circuit 3 again. Because, you know, it has to be in every Mario Kart at this point. What is it with these SNES tracks? First Rainbow Road and now this. Let's see. Original Mario Kart Super Circuit. It was then in Mario Kart Wii. Then it was in Mario Kart Tour, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and now Mario Kart World. Ay, 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 that's 6 times. Okay. I like what they did here, and I think it works fine. I just don't think we need to see Mario Circuit 3 ever again after this. And same with 1 and 2 at that point. So yeah, overall, this is definitely the best out of the SNES Mario Circuits that I ever played, just because of the fact that they grouped it all together, gave it a new identity, and actually made the music really, really good. Like, I thought the 8 Deluxe version sounded really good, but now it sounds even better. So I like what they did here. It actually finally isn't a retro track that feels butchered in a way. Like, it actually feels like a big improvement over the other ones, which is cool and all. But once again, boiling it down, it's Mario Circuit from the SNES. So unfortunately, that kind of is what lowers it, and the fact that it is kind of a flatter track. But I kind of really do like the theme music and the fact that they, you know, grouped a whole bunch together. So that definitely boosts it above tracks like Desert Hills and Moo Moo Meadows for me. So, and plus, at least like the original two Mario Circuits feel like one tracks we haven't seen in a while. So overall, pretty good track. Number 23, Peach Stadium 2. So yeah, I am including both of the Peach Stadiums as well as both of the Crown Cities. Now, Peach Stadium is a pretty interesting track, and I kind of like the way that this one is, you know. I don't know how you explain it. It's really like, it almost feels like an anti-gravity track in a way. But it isn't, unfortunately, because anti-gravity just isn't in the game, because, you know, this Mario Kart can't feel like their best-selling game of all time. Sure, whatever. But at least this track is kind of cool. You get to drive around, I guess, Peach's Stadium. It almost kind of feels like Mario Stadium from the Wii U in a way. Like the way it's designed and laid out. The theming, not necessarily the music, although I do really like the music to Peach's Stadium. It is really cool and all. But, I don't know. There's just something about it that just kind of lowers it for me. And even lowers it opposed to the other Peach Stadium that we have earlier. I think it's the fact that it's just a little too boring in a way. Like, there's a lot of parts of the track that just feel like a lot of nothing. But at least we're not finally in these flat tracks. Like, we're finally in the, at least, tracks that, well, I guess, yeah, this one is still kind of flat, but at least it's elevated, so it makes it kind of cool. I just think, once again, there's better tracks. Especially for the Special Cup. The Special Cup is a really good cup, honestly. And this is a good track and all, it's just not one of my absolute favorites. But, hey, it's cool. Number 22, Peach Beach. And here we have another retro track that shouldn't have come back. Why are we getting Peach Beach again? Especially since, you know, there's still 4 Double Dash tracks that, you know, we've never had before. So why are we getting Peach Beach again? Okay, honestly, I'm not as mad about this one as some of the other retro tracks that we talked about already. At least for Peach Beach, like, they completely remade the track, but also in a way that, you know, it still feels a lot like the original. And personally, I think this track is way, way better than the original and Wii remake. Now, the first lap has you traveling on, you know, normal Peach Beach. Honestly, though, kind of boring. It's just a oval, but Nintendo flips that on its head and says, "Hey, what else can we do with this track?" And for the second and third laps, they let you drive through town. And honestly, I think that's a great way to remake Peach's Beach, where you're not just driving on the very boring beach for the all three laps. Instead, only one of those laps, so you get to see the cool little callback, and then the other two, you're actually driving through town. Yeah, this is a track I personally would rather them not bring back, even with these remakes. I would rather them bring back like Mushroom City or heck even Bowser Castle. But you know what? I'm happy with what we got. At least it's something that didn't butcher the track and in fact improved upon the track, and it's actually really fun. The music is way better as well. It's not one of those songs that I really like in general, but at least like the track is much more fun now, and it's definitely the best version of Peach Beach. But once again, after Mario Kart World, let's have no more Double Dash tracks come back that aren't Mushroom City, Wario Coliseum, Bowser Castle, or Rainbow Road. Please and thank you. Number 21, Cheep Cheep Falls. I feel like after Mario Kart 8, when we got Ninja Hideaway, I feel like Mario Kart games are just now required to have some sort of ninja themed track. And here we go, this is the Ninja Hideaway of Mario Kart World. Although, unlike Ninja Hideaway, this track is actually, fun. I was not a big fan of Ninja Hideaway at all. I just thought the track layout was extremely annoying to deal with. The turns were ridiculous, and it felt like it belonged in Mario Kart Tour, not Mario Kart 8. And the music was awful. At least for this track, the turns are good, and they don't feel like they're not stupid ridiculous. And obviously, because it's not a booster course themed track, it looks really good. And I like the theme too. Like, instead of driving inside of some sort of whatever ninja themed temple, you're actually driving around on the outside, and the theming is really cool. Unlike tracks like Fairway Oasis or Dandelion Depths, it's actually they give you more to do and more to look at, and there's more. If it's not just empty feeling like those tracks are. There's a lot in this track compared to those tracks. And the music is pretty good too. Like, it's way better than Ninja Hideaway, and heck, I'd even say it's better than Dragon Driftway too. Another track where that I feel is a little overrated in a way. But this one is really good, and I love the theme of it being Cheep. And it's one of the best Cheep themed tracks too. It's not one of my absolute favorite tracks in Mario Kart World, but you know what? It's a decent one overall. It's pretty good. Number 20, Salty Speedway. So, here we have one of those tracks that feels like it comes right out of Mario Kart Tour in a way. I feel like ever since Mario Kart Tour, I guess Nintendo kind of got scarred from that game, and now they have to make a lot of city-themed tracks. Honestly, cool! Because what other Mario Kart game has city-themed tracks? Now, yeah, this isn't one that's obviously based off of a real world theme like New York, Japan, whatever. This is their brand new thing. Goodness. And honestly, I think it works pretty well. Now, I do have a few problems with the track. The track does kind of have that, because the fact that it's a city track, it does feel a little big in a way. And there's a lot of different, I don't know what the word is, but it's a little confusing at times. And also, you are mainly just driving through, the waterways, which is kind of cool and all, and the cities, but, I don't know, once again, it just feels like a track that maybe they could have put more into, in a way. I'm saying more, and then I'm just saying it's too confusing. Okay, you know what, fine, scrap all that. It's a great track overall, it's just not one of my personal favorites. But, hey, I like what they did with it. I love the theme of the waterways. I just think there's certain parts of it that are, maybe they could have put a little more oomph into, and there's also certain parts that feel maybe a little too much. So maybe a great balance would be maybe a little better, but overall, I'm happy with what we got. This is overall a good track, and it's better than the Mario Kart Tour. It's better than a lot of the Mario Kart Tour city tracks that we got, stuff like London Loop, New York Minute. So don't automatically think, oh, it's a tour track, therefore it's bad. No. This ain't Mario Kart Tour anymore. It's Mario Kart World. Two different things. So, good track overall. Just, once again, not one of my absolute favorites. Number 19, Peach Stadium 1. So, this one I think is a little more interesting than Peach Stadium 2. Mainly because of the fact that you're kind of driving underneath the track. And I kind of like how underneath is, I don't know, designed better than the sequel. I like the train theme. There is the train from Whistletop Summit that just kind of rolls in as well. And I don't know. I just feel like there's it gives you more to do in Peach Stadium one opposed to the second one. Both are pretty good tracks, but I think I just prefer this one a little bit over the second one. Number 18, Crown City one. Crown City is actually a really good track overall. I don't know what, but it gives me New Donk City vibes in a way. Once again, not a tour track, so don't automatically assume it's bad just because it's a tour track. No, no, no. This is a brand new track, and it's actually really good. Unlike those tour tracks, this actually looks really, really good. Like, the graphics of it is amazing. And the fact that you get to drive around a lot of the city, which is really cool. And the track layout is overall lots of fun too. There's a lot you can do in this track, and it's not just it's not just like, one little thing for each lap and then it switches. No, it gives you a whole bunch to do in all three of the laps, which is kind of cool. Well, of course, if you play versus mode, or I guess if there's some other mode that you can get somehow, that you can actually play the tracks like this instead of just doing one lap. But anyway, moving on. Crown City is just really cool. I love how everything's just really, all the buildings and stuff are just really large and big, and the music is really good too. Honestly, this track kind of feels like a mashup of all the different tour city tracks in a way. Like, I can definitely see New York Minute in there. There's definitely some Berlin Byway, Singapore Speedway, Vancouver. I can definitely see some Sydney Sprint hiding in here as well. Heck, maybe some Paris. There's definitely Los Angeles laps. Like, there's so many different. I feel like this is just a big compilation of all the tour tracks plus Mario Kart World's own thing. Like, and I really like that. That is kind of like a big celebration of those tracks in a way. It almost feels like, but this is definitely, if this would count as a tour track, this would definitely be one of the absolute best ones. It's just so cool, and everything is so well designed. Plus, there's actually traffic, and it's just, I don't know. I just don't really have words for this one. It's so good. Now, yeah, it's not one of my absolute favorite tracks in Mario Kart World, but I just like the way it's designed and all, and I think overall it's a really, really great track. Just because it's in the city doesn't equal bad, okay? It's actually a really great track, and I like it. Number 17, Bowser's Castle. So here we finally have a brand new Bowser's Castle, and honestly, it's pretty good overall. Now, obviously, Bowser's Castle has a lot of high expectations. It has to be kind of fun, kind of thrilling. It has to be fun, thrilling, a little hard, because, it's one of the last Bowser Castles of the game. It has to have a lot in it. And some sort of big Bowser, because every Mario Kart game since Wii has had some sort of, like, big Bowser hiding in it. And it does have that big Bowser eating the track, so that's cool and all. But, I don't know, there's something about this Bowser Castle that feels a little fine. And, I don't know, I think it's just the design of the track itself. It's a little confusing, and it's nothing... And even the track is a little tame compared to some other Bowser Castles. Like, and don't get me wrong, it's a great Bowser's Castle and all, but I just think there's just other Bowser Castles that are better. Like, look at Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's Bowser Castle. That one is so much fun. Heck, even Wii's is better than this one, too. This one, it's fine and all, but it isn't anything too crazy. I just think that, heck, the SNES remake, Bowser Castle 3, I think is better than this one. Oof. I don't know if they want an SNES track to be better than this, but, it's a fun track overall. I just think there's better Bowser Castle tracks. And the music isn't anything too special either. It's a very below average song, so here it is, Bowser Castle. Nothing else I really have to say. Good track, just not one of my favorites, especially compared to other Bowser Castles. Number 16, DK Spaceport. Oh man, talk about a really interesting and cool track. So, DK Spaceport is basically a callback to the arcade machine of Mario vs. DK, which is kind of cool and all, and I love the way that, I love the theme of this track, where it's just the, Mario vs. DK. This is an interesting take on the DK track of the game, and honestly, I think it works really well. There's just something about it that's just not absolutely wonderful about it, and I think it's just because of the fact that I think the track is just fine overall. Like, it's cool and all, but it almost feels like, it almost kind of gives me Excitebike Arena vibes in a way, which is kind of funny, and not necessarily a track I want to have a callback to. But I will say this is a lot better than Excite Bike Arena, and the theme of the track is much better too. Instead of your just typical stadium type of track, the theme's really cool. I just think once again it may be a little more boring than some of the other tracks, but hey, it's a Mushroom Cup. What do you expect? And I think overall it's a really great track. I like what they did with it. I just think there's better tracks in Mario Kart World. Number 15, Crown City 2. So here's the much better Crown City. Okay, not much better, but Crown City 1 obviously was already a lot of fun. So then, putting on the second version, I think the second version of Crown City is even better yet. Now, for starters, you're racing at night, which is really cool, and I love the city theme at night. It just looks so cool. The track design is a little better too, I think. A lot of the track, okay, track design, track layout is a little better too. Although both layouts obviously are a lot of fun. But I like how this one takes you in the beach, kind of like how Los Angeles Laps Lap 1 does. And this is basically exactly like that. I don't know, I just think there's some about this one that makes it a little better than the first one. It's probably for two reasons: driving on the beach and the fact that it's taking place at night. It's overall a really great track in Mario Kart World. And I feel like this is one that can get overlooked just because of the fact that it can kind of resemble a tour track in a way, and we know how much people love the tour tracks, but don't think of it as a tour track. Think of it as Mario Kart World trying to, kind of fix what Mario Kart Tour did with the tour tracks. And even then, I didn't mind the tour tracks in Mario Kart Tour. But anyway, overall, great track for sure, and definitely the best track of the Shell Cup. Number 14, DK Pass, from the DS and returned in Mario Kart 7. Now you might be saying, what about Tour? I don't count Tour. Moving on, I wasn't really sure how much I felt about DK Pass at first when playing it. This was the first retro track that I spotted in Mario Kart World, and I was really disappointed that we got this over a track that never came back, like Figure 8 Circuit. Although we're at the point where I don't really care quite as much about these tracks that have come back before, because of the fact that they're either lots of fun, haven't come back in a while, or they're just massive improvements. And this is one of those cases where, it was in Mario Kart 7, it finally wasn't in Mario Kart 8, and I think the track overall got a big improvement. I wasn't really a fan of DK Pass at all in the original or even 7 version. I thought the track was just okay. It felt very bare bones, and it's just nothing too special. But I will say I really do like this remake. It looks really nice. It plays really nice. And if I have any negatives about the track, it's the fact that they removed the one mountain in that one place where you can get that special item. But other than that, that's a minor detail. I would much rather have like the bridge from Maple Treeway or the underground thing from Koopa Cape than just a silly mountain where you can get a silly item box. And the section after that is a big, massive improvement. It actually feels like you're going down some sort of cool ski slope thing. Yeah, there's no more snowballs or anything, but I don't really care. You still have the snowballs at least. It's just not on that specific area. And I just like the layout of that way better than DS and 7, because it's not just boring and hilly. Now, I don't know. There's just something about it that's just really cool. I think it's the fact that the theme almost seems like ski slope, but it almost feels very, like, homey and cozy in a way, too. I don't know. It's hard to describe. So, even if at first I wasn't a big fan of this track returning, and I still would rather them do some, like, Figure 8 Circuit because it never returned, but, you know what? I'm glad that we did get this remake because it looks really nice, and heck, even the music is an upgrade, too, so that's cool and all. Number 13, Starview Peak. So here we have a very interesting track. Starview Peak is, I don't know. I don't really know how you describe this one. It is interesting, that's for sure. It almost feels like the Mario Galaxy track. Not including Rainbow Road, of course. We'll talk about that one later. But it almost feels like the Mario Galaxy or Rosalina track of the bunch. And it does deliver. It does definitely feel like a star-ified track, and even snowy, too, in a way. This almost feels like another compilation of tracks, kind of like how Crown City feels like a compilation of the tour tracks. This one, it definitely gives me some Rosalina Ice World vibes. It also gives me some Ice Ice Outpost vibes too. So there is a few tracks where I can definitely see the resemblance, and I'm sure there's more, but this track overall is a pretty cool track. I just don't think it's one of my absolute favorites, or even top 10, because there is parts where it just feels a little too, like, just, I shouldn't say boring, but I'll just say fine. Like, I think there's some really cool parts of the track, and other parts of the track are just fine. Like, I do really like the water section, and I do think the resemblance to Ice Ice Outpost is cool and all, and even Rosalina's Ice World, and Mario Galaxy, but other than that, it tracks just fine. But overall, I think it's great. Number 12, Sky High Sundae, originating in Mario Kart Tour as well as Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Oh, so here we have another one of these tracks that returned from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Now hold on a sec, because I actually have something interesting about Sky High Sundae. For starters, I think this track is criminally overhated, and I mean really overhated. I don't understand the hatred for Sky High Sundae, I really don't. I think the theme of it is really cool. Ice cream? When have we ever had an ice cream themed track? We've had food themed tracks before, but never ice cream. Also, listen to that music. Oh, it's bopping. It's so good. Like, it once again is criminally underrated. And the track theme itself is also, really cool. I love the low gravity that this track offers. And the design of the track is really good too. Like, it's not boring like a lot of these other tracks. Like, this is actually really cool and has a lot going for it. And, yeah, it returned again from Mario Kart 8. But, you know what? I think this track is even better than the 8 version. And that's saying a lot because I do think that the 8 version is, a really great track. But I think the improvements that they made here are really great. For starters, because this is the only tour track that returned, we can really see the difference in the visuals. Like, we can actually see what this track would look like if it was actually in the base game of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And personally, I think this track just looks better. And the fact that they didn't just copy it piece to piece, like they did kind of like Moo Moo Meadows in a way, or just completely butcher the track like Shoko Stadium. Like, this track actually kind of feels like its own thing. It almost kind of feels like a sequel to Sky High Sundae in a way. It's like Sky High Sundae 2, because there's parts of it that are the same. Like, it is still kind of that ovally track, but at the same time, like, it feels so different that it could be considered a sequel. And in a good way, too. Not in a bad way, like Shoko Stadium, but actually, like, a fun track. So even though I'm kind of upset that we didn't get Piranha Plant Pipeline, because, it's still the only tour track that never came back, we just gotta hope and pray that Nintendo will do that in at least DLC or something. And also, I don't think I'm alone on this, too. I think a lot of people do like this remake to Sky High Sundae, and I think they figured, okay, Nintendo, you proved Sky High Sundae can be fun, but let's not bring this back again, okay? And that's my same thoughts. Let's not bring this back again. Because, it's a fun track, but it doesn't need to come back, again. Number 11, Great Block Ruins. Oh man, this track is a lot of fun to drive on. The layout is really cool, and the theming is really cool too. This track is very, like, I don't know what the word is. For starters, it actually feels like a track that, feels like a track. It doesn't feel like it's just put together in this big open world thing and kind of weirdly put together. I don't know. It actually feels like an actual Mario Kart track, and that's what I really like about it. And also, the theming is really cool, too. You're up in the sky and clouds, and honestly, this track really gives me Thwomp Ruins vibes from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And heck, even the name itself, Thwomp Ruins, Great Block Ruins, it's so similar to that. This track also gives me Cloud Top Cruise vibes, too, in a way, and I'm not complaining because that was another really, really great track. So kind of putting together two tracks and having it be its own thing is really cool. And this is a really great track overall. It doesn't feel too empty, or the track layout just doesn't feel long, boring, and big, like stuff like Dandelion Depths or Fairway Oasis. It actually feels like its own thing. The track layout is cool, and it has enough stuff in it to make it feel interesting and fun. Overall, this is a really, really great track for sure, with once again some really, really great music. Now we're in the top 10, with number 10 going to Shy Guy Bazaar. Oh wow, so bizarre that they brung this one back. Honestly, not really. I feel like this one would be coming back sooner or later. So, at least this is finally a track that has never come back before from Mario Kart. So it's nice seeing a track that we've never seen before for once, because I'm tired of seeing all those ones. But at least, like, this one is a lot of fun to drive on. And it's nice that they did bring it back, although my prediction from the Mushroom Cup was Daisy Hills, but Hey, if it wasn't Daisy Hills, this would have been the other one that I've want them to bring back. Do not bring back Toad Circuit. It came back, and Cheap Cheap Lagoon is just okay, and it wouldn't work anyway because of the way that they changed the underwater stuff for this game. So, but Shy Guy Bazaar makes a lot of sense, and I really do like the remake to this track. Now, I do like it better at night opposed to in the day because it really brings out the I don't know, it brings out kind of the mysteriousness of the track, and I really kind of like that opposed to just day, because not every track has to be in the day. It's funny, a lot of tracks in Mario Kart 7 took place at night. Um, but I really like how this is basically just a faithful recreation of Shy Guy Bazaar from the original, and they brought it back, didn't butcher it, and instead just expanded upon it and made it just as much fun in this game as it was in that game. So, obviously, besides the nighttime thing, but that's the tiniest, minus detail if I had to find anything about it. The music is great as always, it's a great remix, and it's overall just a great remix to Shy Guy Bazaar. It looks really great, and I'm glad they brought it back. And it doesn't feel too ruined because of the open worldness either, so that's good. Number 9, Wario Shipyard. Here we have another Mario Kart 7 track that came back. And, I'm not really sure how I feel about this one. So, in my opinion, it is probably my favorite track in the Star Cup, although there's certain parts about it that feel kind of fine. Like, this track heavily relied on going underwater in the original. So, because now you can't do that in this game, there is parts of it that unfortunately feel a little butchered in a way. But Wario Shipyard wasn't anything too crazy in the original version either, and at least they didn't butcher it enough that I really just said, wow, I can't believe what they did with this one. I do think this is probably better than the original, and at least for the most part, the changes make sense. I do wish that we still went under the water. That whole, middle section of the track just feels very, not middle, I guess beginning middle of the track feels very bizarre now because of the fact that you're driving on top of the water instead of in the water, because that section really heavily relied on going in the water. But at least I feel like the changes do kind of make sense, and they made it in a way that doesn't feel like, oh man, this track is so butchered, I missed the original. Like, they did it well enough that that I'm like, you know what, I can tolerate the remake to this one to the point where it's not going to make me just completely make me say, oh man, I can't believe what they did with this one. It's still a fun track to race on, and the stuff that they did keep, they upgraded. Like, I'm glad they kept the anchor, the part where you shoot out the cannon, and of course the music is better in this version than the original. And the only reason why I think I put it above Shy Guy Bazaar is just because the track design is a bit better than Shy Guy Bazaar. Although Shy Guy Bazaar didn't get butchered, this one did a little bit. But I just think Wario Shipyard is just a better track in general. But both tracks are really great, and I'm glad that we did get these for Mario Kart World. Number 8, Wario Stadium. Oh man, I can't believe they finally brung this track back. So this was the very last track from the N64 that they've never brung back. And unlike the other N64 track that they brung back that's also stadium themed now, this is a way better track. For starters, just look at the layout. It's really cool. Now, yeah, it is shortened, as we all know. It's shortened from the original version. But is that necessarily a bad thing? Is bigger always better? Maybe not. And although I've never played the original track, so I can't really rely on the original track to give me either nostalgia or to see which one's better on. But I will say I do really like this remake. It does still feel and play like the original Wario Stadium. It feels like, or at least looks like the original Wario Stadium in a way. Like, at least they didn't make it so you can't tell it's not that track like Shoko Stadium. At least for this track, you can still tell that, it's Wario Stadium. Like, you're up against the walls like that, the giant jump at the end. It's just that it's been so long. And Mario Kart World is known for them completely changing tracks. So stuff like this makes a lot of sense for this track. Hey, it's the last N64 track that they never added. Might as well go out with a banger. And I'm really glad that they did bring this one back. So now I don't mind if they do bring back other N64 tracks, but personally I think we can wait a bit. I'd rather see them finish on some of the other tracks. We're almost done with Double Dash, Wii, and DS, so finish up those ones. Maybe get started on 8, finally. Get the Super Circuit ones and SNES ones, and then we can maybe see about going back to N64. But I want to see some of these other ones get remade first, too. But I can confirm now that I've played every single track from the N64, just not on the N64. And of course, you gotta love the Wario Stadium music too. Oh, I love the Raceway theme. It's so good, and I love how they kind of changed it in a way to make it sound more stadium-y opposed to, circuity in a way. And the change is really nice, and I like it a lot. Number 7, Dino Dino Jungle. Man, I did not think I was going to like this track this much. Dino Dino Jungle, I personally wasn't the biggest fan of in Double Dash, just because of the fact that the track felt too stupidly hard. The 7 version did, I think, a great job of remixing it. But then in comes Mario Kart World, and this track completely, I was like, wow, okay, I was not expecting this at all. So, this track is, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just really cool. First off, I love the remix music. It sounds way better than Mario Kart 8's remix music does, and in fact, it's probably the best version of the DK Jungle song. Dino Dino Jungle song. And the fact that there's actually more than just one dinosaur in this track now, too, which is really cool. You still have the iconic one that's stomping and stuff, but then you have one of those bridges at this section here that you see in the footage is now a dinosaur. So they still kept that track in, they just turned it into a dinosaur. And also the fact that there's other dinosaurs running in and out, too, which is really, really cool. So it actually is, Dino Dino Jungle now. And you gotta love the little eggs that are everywhere, and the theme itself is so cool. I think that's the big thing about this track that made me completely blown away by it, and not really caring that it has a track that it was a track that had already come back, because of the fact that the theme is so cool. Now it's basically not even. It does feel kind of like a jungle, but it feels more like Jurassic Park-ish in a way, and I'm not complaining. I think the change is great. Yeah, they did remove that one tunnel, but who cares? It was a tunnel that I could care less about. This track feels more like Dino Dino Jungle than the other two versions did, so personally, I think this track is a big improvement to the other two tracks. So big that it puts it into top 10, which is crazy, because if it was Double Dash, I don't think it would be in top 10. Maybe it would. Double Dash's tracks aren't necessarily the greatest, but man, I'm just so happy with the remix that we did get, or this remake that we did get for Dino Dino Jungle. It looks and plays really great, and it's definitely one of the best retro tracks in Mario Kart World, and one of the best tracks for sure. Number 6, Airship Fortress, Mario Kart DS, and Mario Kart 7. So, I kind of had a feeling that they would bring this track back because of the fact that it was beloved by many and it missed out on the booster course. So having it in this version is really great. And once again, I feel like they didn't butcher it like Shoko Stadium, because of the fact that it doesn't have the open worldness kind of ruin the track. Like, it still feels and plays like Airship Fortress, but it's just way better because, once again, kind of like Down Down Jungle, the graphics are just much better. The music is better, and just everything about it is just, much better. I think the thing that puts this above Down Down Jungle is just the track layout. I think the track layout is a little better in this one than Down Down Jungle, but both tracks are just great remix, and I'm so glad that they did, even if they are tracks that have come back before. It's nice seeing them come back one more time for a brand new HD version. So they both in play really nice, and I'm happy with the Airship Fortress stuff that we got. They didn't really remove anything. It still feels like Airship Fortress. It's a great track overall, and what else need I say? It's good old Airship Fortress, and this is, in my opinion, the best out of the 3DS tracks that they brought back. Great track overall. Number 5, Dry Bones Burnout. Man, oh man, talk about a really cool track. So, I don't think we really had any Dry Bones themed tracks. Well, there was Bone Dry Dunes, but a lot of people weren't the biggest fans of that in Mario Kart 8. Well, what if we turn that into this? Well, I won't lie, I think it's a lot better than Bone Dry Dunes, and I thought Bone Dry Dunes was a pretty good track. But this one is just so cool. I love the design of it, for sure. I love the little details onto every little thing. And the theming of it is really cool, too. It kind of gives me Shy Guy Bazaar vibes in a way. But also, it gives, obviously, Bowser Castle vibes, too. Compared to Shy Guy Bazaar and Bowser Castle, this is definitely better than both of those. And I think it's a really cool track. This should have been the Bowser's Castle, honestly, because this is just so cool and way better. And the music is miles better, too. This is actually a really good lava-themed song. And overall, I don't know. I just really like it. I like the layout, like the design, love the theme, love the song. And of course, it's Dry Bones. Great character for sure, and great track. To end off the, I almost said Lightning Cup. Is it Lightning Cup? No, Leaf Cup, I believe. Yeah, Leaf Cup. Great track for sure. Definitely top 5. Number 4, Acorn Heights. Here we have a really cool track. So I love the jungly theme type of tracks, but this track almost gives me Wild Wood vibes from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and that's a good thing because I really liked Wild Woods from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So here we have a track that basically is just Wild Woods all over again, and I really like that. The music once again is really great, and it's a great way to start off the Special Cup. The Special Cup is a really good cup in my opinion. I think it's probably one of the best, if not the absolute best cup in all of Mario Kart World. It starts off with a banger. I mean, just look at this section where you're driving up a bunch of different pathways, avoiding acorns, and once again, the free roaminess doesn't ruin this track because the fact that it still feels like it's its own thing and it doesn't clash with other tracks and stuff. And I love the hominess vibe to this track too. It's just so cool, and I love the nature vibe and of course jungle. It's just overall a really great track and a great way to start off the Special Cup. Great track overall, definitely top 5. Number 3, Toad's Factory. Man, out of all the retro tracks that came back, this is easily the best one. I think we all kind of knew at this point that Toad's Factory was long overdue for a remake. And it didn't come back in Mario Kart 7, which that's fine. 7 wasn't the greatest game. And it didn't come back in Mario Kart 8. Well, what's the next game? Mario Kart World, of course. And I'm glad that they didn't bring it back in Booster Course. They waited until a much, better graphically designed game to bring it back in. And it looks really nice in this version. Everything from the original Toad's Factory is here. From the little things at the beginning that stamps you, to all the different pathways that either push you off or one goes faster and slower. Even the beeping lights are still in it. The little bulldozers at the end. It's basically just the Wii version of Toad's Factory. They have, but obviously it's just better because, the fact that it looks and plays much better than the Wii version does. It looks nicer, of course. This is one of those tracks that do kind of feel like kind of clashes with a lot of the other overworld stuff, so it does kind of give me those open world type vibes, but it's nothing too crazy. And once again, it's still a great track for sure. The music obviously is an improvement. It's just good old Toad's Factory that we all know and love. And what else need I say about it? It's Toad's Factory. They finally brought this one back. This was one of the predictions I had for Mario Kart 1, and I'm glad that they did bring it back. Although, I'm pretty sure we knew they were going to bring it back sometime or another. So, glad that we finally did get this track. Great one for sure, and definitely top 3. Number 2, Boo Cinema. Man, oh man, I'm so glad that as the Mario Kart games go on, Nintendo does an even better job with their spooky themed tracks. We start off with stuff with the Ghost Valleys. Yeah. Then we get to this. What on earth? Boo Cinema. This track is so cool. I remember seeing it in the trailers, and I thought it was pretty cool and all, but after playing it, it's like, wow, this is way better than the trailers. So, now if you kind of look at the minimap, it kind of looks like a funny bow tie in a way, which is kind of funny. But man, the track layout is so cool. You start off in a movie theater, aka Boo Cinema, then you drive into the screen and you're in the movie, and then you eventually exit the track and you end up where the whole thing started. Wow. If I was ranking all of the spooky themed tracks, this would definitely be at number 1 for sure. It's just so cool. I love the theme. I love the way that they did this track. I love the music is amazing. Easily the best spooky themed music out of any of the spooky themed tracks, because it actually is really catchy. It's not just your typical spooky song. It's actually really clever, and I love all the different instruments they use for this one. Man, I don't know. Words just can't put into how great of a track this is. And I feel like maybe if it would have been a little longer, this probably would have been number 1. But I think there's one track that I enjoy a little more than this one. So let's get to my favorite track from Mario Kart World, and that would be Rainbow Road. Man, oh man, 11 years since Mario Kart 8's Rainbow Road. I'm so happy to finally get a brand new Rainbow Road. And I think a lot of people are too. I think they were kind of tired of Mario Kart 8's Rainbow Road. Personally, I thought it was a great track and all, but I won't lie, I love brand new Rainbow Roads as well. And this is the first time that I can actually I don't know what the word is, but actually experience a brand new Rainbow Road and also being able to I don't know what the word is, but keep up with the Mario stuff. I don't know, but also because of the fact that it's been so long since we got a brand new Mario Kart, so it's nice finally getting a brand new Rainbow Road. And man, oh man, this track is just, I don't know how you call this one. I guess to sum it up in the best way possible, this track is just so beautiful. Like, it is such a great track overall. I love what they did with this one. Now, yes, let's get the obvious elephant out of the room. It's not the hardest Rainbow Road track either. But, come on. Seriously, do we expect every Rainbow Road to be like Mario Kart Double Dash's Rainbow Road? Absolutely not. I would take this Rainbow Road any day over that garbage. This is much, much better. And the fact that, once again, it's not one... you're not just going around the same Rainbow Road over and over again. Like, there's a bunch of different parts of this track that you drive on, which is really cool. You start off in the Rainbow Roady stuff, then you go to the water section, and then you go to almost like another spaceport thing, but it's really cool, and which leads to almost like a Mario Galaxy-esque era, and then of course you get to the final area of the track. It's just so cool. Yeah, once again, not the hardest Rainbow Road track ever, but Rainbow Road doesn't just necessarily mean hard, and if it isn't hard, that means it's bad. Like, it's really cool, and I love the way that this is basically just a big celebration to, the Mario Kart World universe. And also, this is the only track that you can't necessarily do in free roam, which means it's the only track that feels and plays like a traditional Mario Kart track, which is really cool. I don't know. Words just can't put into how fun this Rainbow Road is. Like, it's easily, in my opinion, one of the absolute best Rainbow Roads of all time. Probably the best Rainbow Road of all time. Maybe, I don't know. Wii is up there. I don't know which one's better, this or Wii. But it's better than stuff like 7. It's better than Double Dash, all those overrated ones. This is a really, really, really good Rainbow Road. I love everything that they did with this one. This is the section here that reminded me of that Mario Galaxy part. But, oh man, I just can't put into words how cool this track is. Just look at it. It's just so breathtaking and beautiful. That water section alone is just so beautiful. I love that they just didn't have the whole thing be Rainbow Road themed, but at the same time, it still is kind of Rainbow Road. They just kind of put a bunch of different things into one. Okay, I guess they had... Obviously, Mario Galaxy definitely did inspire this track too, but that's fine. Like, that's cool and all. But man, this track is just so breathtaking. It's so beautiful, and I love the way that they, did this Rainbow Road. And I didn't even start talking about the music yet. Oh my goodness. This music has to be one of the absolute best, like, Mario Kart songs of all time. It's just so, like... it's so breathtaking. Like, it gives me chills when I listen to this song. It's just so beautiful. And I love the way that, it's designed. It's not the sappy, sad Mario Kart 7-esque song. It's not annoying like not annoying like GBA's. It's not overrated like 7's. No, this is actually a really, like, just beautiful piece. It's beautiful piece. And I just love the way it sounds. And there's different versions too. My favorite version is probably the water theme version. Oh, every time that opera kicks in, it's just chills every time. It's just so cool, and I love the way that it sounds. And then of course you get the train that's driving around, and it has all these different giant enemies in it, like the giant DK from DK Spaceport, and the dinosaur from Dino Dino Jungle, and a few other things here and there. So it's so cool the way that they basically made this track just a giant celebration. And I really love that. I love this new Rainbow Road a lot. And it's easily, without a doubt, in my opinion, my absolute favorite Rainbow Road. Okay, favorite track in Mario Kart World, and one of my absolute favorite Rainbow Roads of all time. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video of me ranking all the Mario Kart World tracks. Overall, most of the tracks in Mario Kart World are honestly tons of fun to play. Even the ones that are kind of more fine, they're still fun to play. There's only like 2 of them, I'd say, that aren't that fun. and one that's a downright disgrace. We know what we're talking about, Shoko Stadium. But overall, like Mario Kart World really nailed it with its tracks, especially the Nitro tracks, I'd say. They did an amazing job, and it's fun seeing brand new tracks in Mario Kart. Overall, Mario Kart World, once again, is a really, really great game. Is it better than 8 Deluxe? I don't know. That's something I'd have to think about. But overall, I'm so glad we finally have a brand new Mario Kart, and it's such a fun game, and it has a lot of fun things to it. So with that, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. Have a good day.